Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I really hope you guys enjoy this DIY video. So we're gonna get straight into this video. I have 3 vases that I have thrifted. Well, 2 thrifted, 1 I got from Hobby Lobby on sale. But with this first one, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to cover up these details, so I started looking around for inspiration pictures on Pinterest and other websites, and I couldn't bring myself to spackle it. I just thought that it would take away from this beautiful piece in this vessel, so I'm going to go ahead and do an admixture. So the first one is going to be a gray chalk paint and a acrylic paint from the Target dollar spot, just in black. I want to mix these two to see if I can give myself a black gray kind of like this inspiration picture. These, I could not believe the prices on Etsy, and all of them are ranging between like $98 to like $200, and I just want to see if I'm able to go ahead and recreate this on a budget. So I hope you guys stick around, like this video if you are enjoying it so far, and let's keep on DIYing. So one thing I would recommend is actually having a paper or plastic plate to put your paint on and do your mixtures on there. It makes it easier for dabbing or stippling or just putting the brush and mixing more if you wanted to. But we actually ran out, and like I said, I was doing this on a budget, so I used whatever solo cups we had left over from previous get-togethers. So here I'm adding our baking soda to give us that thickening effect and to have it look like more of a ceramic piece. You will be using a lot of this, at least in my opinion, because I went ahead and I just added as I felt necessary. So if I didn't like the texture, I'd add some more. If I didn't like how thick it was or how it wasn't as thick, I would add some more. And that also depends on your paint. I was also using a chalk paint, so it helped a little bit more. But just trust the process, go with it. It's supposed to be fun. It's your own individual piece. So here I am painting it that black and gray color that I have so far, and I'm really liking how it's getting rid of that sheen. And you can see how the details of this piece is just coming alive now that I've painted it the black. So for this piece, I actually got it from a consignment store. I don't love the metallic sheen that's coming through, so I'm going to use that same gray chalk paint, white acrylic paint that I also got from the Target dollar spot, and I'm going to try and see if I can recreate this vessel that I had saw off of Pottery Barn. Super pretty. I'll show you guys the inspiration picture here in just a second. And the way that they decorated it and made it look like a standalone piece, you can also do that. So here you have it with the eucalyptus stems. That is also an option, but here together gathered with the other pieces, it looks very eclectic. But that price of $349 was not my biggest fan, and that's actually for the largest vessel. So I'm going to try and see if I can add some of this antiquing paint to my admixture to try and get that taupey beige undertone, and then you'll see how I get that antiqued version like the Pottery Barn one later on in this video. This piece, I will say, probably gave me the most, not in problems, but I definitely had a harder time doing it just because I didn't like the way that it was coming out at first. And I just kept adding and adding, but you'll see later on in this video what I'm talking about. Like I said, you guys just trust the process and everything will work out fine. So here is our final vessel. I did have a visitor that stopped by. My neighbor's dog, Gracie, she got through our fence, and so I went and gave her back to them. But this is our third vessel that we're going to be painting. I got it from Hobby Lobby on sale, I think last year. Anyhow, I couldn't decide if I wanted to paint this entire thing this beigey color that I painted the other vessel, or if I wanted to keep the rim and the bottom this brown clay. But then I saw a few inspiration pictures that I couldn't get out of my head. There was two different versions, and ultimately you'll see which one I end up choosing. So for this piece, I decided to do a second layer on there because with it being black, you can see some of the brush strokes, as well as there were a few pieces that I missed by the handle. So I went ahead and just did a second coating on here, not a full coat, but just some areas that need to be touched up. And I will continue waiting for this one to dry so that way I can add my details. So you'll see me here adding that antiquing paint to my brush. I'll squirt like a little bit here and there because I don't want a full amount, but I did want to give it this kind of turned brush effect. And I liked how this was coming out, but it kind of looked boring. So I kept at it and I added a few more, and I got a little frustrated just because it wasn't coming out the way that I envisioned it to come out. So I added more strokes, maybe, more paint, darker paint. This is where I was saying that the plate would be a lot better because then you can squeeze a whole bunch on a plate and you can just dip your brush in as you felt necessary. But I continue to go with the process and just see what this piece would turn out to be. Alright, so going back to that first one, Now that the paint has dried, I am going to go in with that beige taupey color that we mixed. And I'm just going to take a napkin and my brush and put a little bit here at a time. I kind of wanted to give it this look of splattered paint. Wasn't fully, it was old. Maybe it got a lot of dirt or sand on it. I don't know. I was just going with the flow on this one. And I really liked how it came out, especially with the details and everything around the rim. It looked perfect to me. So I definitely recommend having a tissue on hand and just dipping it into your paint and blotting it here and there for a little extra added effect. Alright, so coming back to this vase, at this point I'm thinking it's looking really ugly. I'm just like, what can I do? Let me try the blotting effect here. And I guess this could have worked if it wasn't so dry. So I could have started this blotting process while the paint was still a little bit tacky, because here you'll see that I try to do it and the paint isn't moving. It's not going in like how the other piece did, because there was still the paint was still wet, so that tacky blotting method was working. So then I said, well, let me go ahead and grab some of the baking soda and we'll just add it on here like if it's dirt. And I continued to do that and I didn't like it. And you'll see that after I went ahead and added some more baking soda on it, I was like, okay, maybe it looks okay. Maybe it doesn't look too bad. Then I put it off to the side and I looked at it again and I hated it. So I came back in and that beige color I had originally, I just took it on my popsicle stick and I was like, well, I'm going to put it on here and then maybe I'll just rub my hands around it. And then as I was brushing it with the popsicle stick, it looked like German schmear. So like how this was maybe discovered or recovered from some kind of collapse of a building and they found this vessel and it has all of this history to it. So I kept on what I'm calling German schmearing my vessel, and this was what it needed. It needed just a little bit of layering. So when I say, guys, trust the process, it's all about your creativity. I mean, I could have stopped at any point and it would be okay. There aren't any rules to this. It's your piece. It's however you want to do it. And at the end of the day, it's how you're going to enjoy it in your home and how you can style it the way that you would love. Alright, so lastly is this final vessel. So I decided to go with the darker version of that inspo pick, and I think I just needed something that was just plain black. I don't have anything like that. I don't have any vases in my home that are a single black vase, so I figured why not? I'm already this far deep into it anyways. So I'm taking that original black and gray admixture and I'm just brushing it on here. I don't want to fill in the crevices or like the indentations where the bubbles are. With this color, I'm going to go back in with just black paint and I'm going to stipple around that. So that way it gives a little bit of a contrast. So this dark gray black will be the undertone, as well as the beige will be an undertone. So So it's going to have multiple layers, and I think that's what ended up ultimately making this probably my second favorite. I don't know. I really end up liking all of them, and I don't think that I could have purchased this in the store with the budget that I had for these pieces, because I honestly didn't want to spend a lot. I have a lot of vases in my house, and yes, I love collecting them, but sometimes you end up liking one, and after a while you're just like, I don't really like it, and then you end up giving it away. And yeah, that is fashion, or that is style, but I love how every single one of these vases came out, and I can say that they are mine. So this one originally cost me $1.50, but it looks like it could be easily $150. As well as this one only cost me $5, and it looks like it can be the Pottery Barn version, and this one was $7.47, and it looks like it could be that $300 piece that I had found on Etsy. So here I just wanted to show you guys how I styled them in my home, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps my channel out, and it lets me know the content that you guys enjoy. So thank you again, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.